Eddie Burns, and I have been licensed since November.
Great, well, welcome.
Charles, and I've been with KW for a few months.
You've been with KW since you were a baby.
Oh yeah, that too. So yeah, my mother is in business, and she's an agent here. So she's like,
I should have said it.
yeah.
She's
She's like, you know, it's good because I have a mentor right in my back pocket.
Yeah.
You know, back she started back in like 2006, so she would bring me around there when I was a kid. And,
Yeah, you got infected.
So yeah.
It's one of my favorite, and by the way, your last name reminds me of one of my favorite cheeses, provolone. So
Very nice.
I won't forget provolone.
Perfect.
This gal I know.
I'm
go ahead.
Carla, and I've been in just over a year. I
Looks
love
like
it.
you've been here forever.
It does feel like a lot, but I
It's
love
just,
it.
you're part of the family. You're just a part of this culture.
Yeah, and I take full advantage of all of it.
Yeah.
Like I come to all the classes and I meet people, and yeah, I love it.
That's absolutely crucial. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend you talk to Carl about that. You get in a lot more places, you'll learn a lot more hands-on stuff from an agent that does the same thing you do every day. That's what Carla did. She starts soaking in the information. She's doing very well. So it's a good idea. And these people here will share. They'll share with you all day long. They're not closed-minded. They don't shut their door when they see you coming. They welcome you in. From the top producer down to the middle stream, whatever, they'll let you in and talk to you anytime. It's a great group of people. Nick even lets me in his office, so that's,
Hey, dog man.
I'm doing something right.
I'm working for you.
All right, so, back here.
Joy, been in the business about 3 years. KW the whole entire time.
All right, so Lakeside's got joy. True. Sorry, I couldn't.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Mary Anna, and I've been in the business about 2 years. Very good.
That's great. I keep catching you every time you take a bite. That's okay.
My name is Giovanni. I've been with Keller Williams for a couple months.
Fantastic. Wow. Oh, okay, what team are you on?
My team.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, welcome to the group, man. Awesome. All right, so as I was saying earlier, my name is Jeff Sebastian, and I'm with America's Preferred Home Warranty. The first thing I want to tell you about warranties, if you don't remember anything else.
Thank you.
Everybody say thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
He's an awesome guy. So if you don't know anything else about warranties, the number one thing to know is that warranties are for protection. If you want your clients protected, if you want their appliances and systems in their houses protected, that's what a warranty is for. Now, when I say that, you have to think of when you're sitting across from a client and you're looking at the warranty. In my mind, for that client, none of you here are supposed to be warranty salesmen. I don't expect that of you. I don't think anyone does. That's my job. Your job, though, is to protect your client, and you know that. That's what you want to do throughout the process. You're an agent that knows things about how to sell a house. You know little caveats about things that can go wrong that precious client of yours has no idea. They're just kind of being, walk along in the process blindly. That's what's great about having an agent, because you guys kind of flush everything out and let them see it face first and understand the process. Well, one of your things is protecting them. That's why you're there. So I don't need to preach that too much, but that's what the warranty is for. Let me just tell you a few statistics before I get rolling. First statistic that's really, really important. You have buyers a lot of times that resist buying a warranty. They'll object. They'll say, I can't afford it. I don't need it. What you can tell a buyer and what you can tell anyone, really, this statistic really holds true. It's a national statistic. It's not ours. 70% of all new homeowners will have something break in the first year of ownership. 70%. 7 out of 10 people you sit across the table from, you can know that something's going to break in your house. Does that inspire you to give them a warranty? It should inspire you, because we don't want them to experience that without a warranty. Now, the second thing I want to tell you that's really important about our company in particular is that our mantra is to fix and repair like new. That's what our warranty company strives to do. That's our number one goal, and that's what we do 90% of the time. So you fix and repair like new. Now there are times when you come across something that's so old you can't get new parts. They're not available anymore. Something happens where it gets red tagged and it's leaking carbon monoxide into the house. You can't fix that. That's something that's, it's going to happen, and when they red tag it, you have to respond. So in those times when we can't fix and repair like new, like I said, 90% of the time that works. But in those times when we can't do that, we do give money towards replacement. Now, we're a little different as a company because we don't say, hey, we'll replace anything. Please don't tell any of your clients that, okay? We don't replace, we're not a replacement company. No company, if they're being honest with you, without sticking something refurbished in your house, no company can actually be a replacement company, because think of the dollars and cents. If I'm charging you $425 for a warranty, and every customer comes along and putting $1,000 to $5,000 into their house, how am I surviving financially? You're not. You won't survive. So you don't do that. Now there are places, I had a friend, I got to tell you my little story right off the bat. Everybody like a good story? This is a good story. My friend, he's a fellow area sales manager over on the west side of the state. He moved into a house before he worked here. He got a warranty with another company, and they were a replacement company. And so his furnace went down, and they said, all right, we're going to come out and replace it. So guess what happened? They came out and replaced it. So he thought, wow, that's pretty good. Pretty seamless. We got a replacement furnace. So a couple months into the deal, he was just looking over the furnace itself to make sure, it looks right, that the placement's set up right, and that it's working, like it should. And he notices on the bottom shell, it has a brand name, and then he looks at the top shelf, and it has a different brand name. Well, what in the world is this? So he calls the company up and says, why are there two different brand names on here? And they said, oh, well, that's a refurbished furnace. And I guess there's no state laws or measures that protect a client from them doing that. I guess they can stick in a refurbished thing if they want to. So anyway, it was refurbished. They admitted it. And within a year, he said, it broke down. So he got a year's worth out of their great replacement. What we do is if your furnace goes down, and it's a relatively new furnace, like say 10 years old, we'll give you $2,250. Your client goes to Home Depot with that $2,250, and they shop. That sound like good? Would you like to go to Home Depot with $2,250? I would. We've never had anybody complain about that process, because normally your client's going to want something bigger and better. You can buy a furnace for $2,250, but everybody wants the high efficiency, all the bells and whistles on it, So they wind up paying $4,000. That's up to them. But your client at least will not pay $2,250 of that cost. That sound like a good deal?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we do our replacement. And so that gives a lot more freedom to your client. We are all about freedom. We want your client to feel free. The second thing is right in the front of your thing. It's probably the mantra of our company, more important than anything else. We offer your client to choose their own licensed contractor. It's extremely important. No other company in the United States offers that. We're the only company that offers that. What that tells you is that when they order, when they need a claim for something that's needing repair, they can call anybody they know that's a licensed contractor. It might be a brother, uncle, or whoever. It may be somebody that, like Carla, might have a list. She might have a plumber, electrician that she knows is very reliable and trustworthy. She can tell her client, hey, I want you to use Bob's Electricity for your repair because I know they're trustworthy. That's what it does. It gives you the freedom to choose. Every other company in the country has a network of contractors. They tell you who's going to fix your stuff. You may not like them. They may not show up very timely. I've heard some real horror stories. Things leaking and the person saying, I'll be out in 72 hours. It's leaking. I need you out here now. It's that type of thing. This thing allows you to avoid that. You can get a contractor out right now. You might have to call one or two, but you can get one out there. You know what I'm saying? All right. For the basics, some of you already know this, but I know some of you don't. Let me just give you the basics. And again, when we're done with this, I don't want anyone in here to feel like, dang, I don't remember half of what he said. I kind of expect that. It's okay. Don't feel bad about that. We're cramming a lot of stuff in your head. So I don't expect you to retain all of this. But I want to tell you, because at some point in the future, because we talked about it, it'll come back up. And when it comes back up, you'll say, oh wait, the warranty guy, didn't he say blah, blah, blah? Because it'll come back. All right, does that make sense? And trust me, I train here all the time. I do trainings with the whole group. I do trainings like this with segmented groups. So you'll hear this feel, it'll bring stuff back to you. And you'll also have my card. You'll be able to ask questions like she's about to do. So that's a good thing. Go ahead, Joy.
Do you have so I know there's buyers programs. Do you have sellers?
Yes.
For like when they first go onto the market that they're covered and okay.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up. This is the home warranty. This is the order form. So when you do this order form, basically what you're going to do, it has seller's name and information at the top. In the middle, it has buyer's name. So it depends on whether you're putting it on at the listing appointment or whether you're having a buyer purchase it. It's very easy to fill out. It tells which place to put all the information. Then it has your information below that. You're going to fill out your information down here. Then they sign at the bottom. All right. Over here on this side, it's not really confusing because most of these boxes you're hardly ever going to use. It has single family. That's going to be what's used most prevalently. Secondly is condo townhouse. You're going to check off one of those two boxes. Then you're going to go down here. These are plan options as you go down the page. You're not really going to use those unless you see something. Somebody the other day needed a pool heater covered, so they got pool covered. They spent an extra $185 and added that on. You can do that. If you have somebody with a pool, I recommend it, especially if they have a heater. Heaters are expensive. So I highly recommend that you put the warranty, the addition on to the warranty. All right? So when you get down to the bottom, something I want to bring to your attention. It's mandatory as far as Keller Williams Lakeside is concerned that either you sell the warranty or you have them sign the waiver. Everybody see that waiver section at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
You have them sign the waiver. There's several reasons for doing that, but I'll just cover a couple. Number one, it makes them think. They're reading a section of the warranty that says, I have chosen not to take the warranty, and they're signing their name to it. They'll think, and they'll go through the process, and probably later on say, so when I sign that, I really can't get the warranty now? And of course you can say, yeah, you can get the warranty. But when they sign the waiver, it kind of jogs their mind to think, gosh, I'm not going to have any warranty on my house. And we're not talking about a warranty on a headset you just bought at Best Buy, right?
Right.
So that's not the same thing. We're talking about $175,000 of items and structure that you need a warranty on, right? I know, I do it just like you guys do. You buy the headset, they say, hey, would you like a 2-year warranty for $35? No thanks. This is not one of those no thanks type situations. If the furnace breaks, it's going to be, could be thousands of dollars in repair. So it's not like that. But if they waive, and they will sometimes, if they waive it, what that does is that gives this agency protection on their E&O claims for an entire year after that closing. We didn't sell the warranty, we didn't get a dime, but what we do is we cover that property with our Client Secure. You've got it in your folder. Client Secure is your E&O coverage. There's a deductible usually on all E&O coverage. Does anybody in here know what that is? I don't want to talk Greek.
Emissions and
Errors
and omissions, yeah.
That's from statements, errors and omissions in the statements. That's from information that's given. E&O claims can come a lot of different ways. I'll tell you one way it comes. Agent sold a house. Client was really excited about the house. There was a space beside the house. The client said, well, I really need to build a garage on, but that's perfect. I'll build the garage. Client builds the garage and has an inspector come out and look at it. And the inspector says, that's a great looking garage. Unfortunately, you built it over a septic field. He said, you're going to have to tear it down. So this guy was not happy. Can you imagine the client? He's not happy now. And I don't know. I never heard the whole story. I don't know if it was the agent's fault. I don't know who didn't give the right information. But the fact of the matter is, this guy did make an E&O claim because he was very upset. That's why, and a lot of times I've had claims. I just had one with the C21. It was not the agent's fault, wasn't the broker's fault, wasn't anybody's fault, but it doesn't matter. They're going to name you in that suit anyway. So this gives coverage of 75% of that deductible. In that particular case, of that C21, we paid out $3,750 for their deductible. It was a $5,000 deductible. So does that make sense, 75%? That's what we pay. Usually the deductibles are high, and that makes your OP, that makes your broker, that makes everybody really happy because that's a cost that's not coming out of their pocket, right? So we hope that, claims don't happen. That's the hope, and they don't happen a lot, thank goodness. But if they do, you've got an extra coverage that backs you up, right? All right? And that's a freebie if you don't sell the warranty. It's coming anyway, as long as you haven't signed the waiver. All right, let me go over the front 2 pages, 2 of the most important pages in this document. The only 2 that you're probably ever going to get your client to read because they're nice and short and to the point. The client's not going to read the rest of the book, right? They're not going to read how many of you like reading fine print? Nobody. Your client's not going to want to read it either. So what do you do to alleviate that problem? First of all, you start over here. How many of you know they're going to ask you what things are covered? A lot of your clients are going to ask that question. It's going to be a problem. What's covered if I want the warranty? So you're going to go over here to what's covered on page 3, and you're going to show them. This is like a 3-minute read. And what it tells them is what's covered and what's not covered. I think that's absolutely pivotal in your discussions because that saves you from that you're in the headlights look like, what things are covered. You go. You just flip to page 3 and say, here you go. This is what's covered and not covered. And they can read through it relatively quick. The other reason I think this is important is page 2, which gives you 3 easy steps to making a claim. Your client's going to need to know that if they have to make a claim, right? So why make it difficult? Let's just let them look at this and say, oh, okay, so I got to call the company, make the claim. I got to schedule an appointment with the contractor. That makes sense. When the contractor comes out, I'll have him call the company with his diagnosis. And then, number 3, we'll pay. Right? And the good thing is, when we pay, a lot of times now, contractors have it set up so that they can receive payments electronically. So we'll just take from our funds and put it in their funds and done deal. So your client, therefore, doesn't have to pay a check and be reimbursed. If that doesn't work, then that's what we'll do. It takes like 5 days to get a reimbursement check. So it's not a long time. So I think your clients will like the process. But this lets them know that in a real quick, succinct way. All right? We don't want to bore them with details. They're going to have enough to read with all the stuff they have to do with the house. Right? All right. On the seller side, and we are going to have sellers eventually. That's a market. I know there's listings out there, but there are going to be a lot more coming out there. At least that's what I hear. There are going to be more listings. Right now we got a lot of buyers, and the buyers are just sitting there waiting for some listings to come out. And you are, as an agent, waiting for some good listings that match what they want. One of the biggest things on this page, I recommend this home seller benefits you stick in your glove compartment. The reason why, when you're going to a listing appointment, first of all, the listing side is going to be the easiest sellable warranty. Every warranty you sell, you're going to get $70 for. Does that sound good? We get to pay you. Does that sound good to everybody? We're going to pay you money, yes.
So if we get a warranty, you give us $70?
Yes, sir.
And if we buy the warranty, do we still get $70?
Yep. Doesn't matter how it gets there.
Every time?
$70. Every time.
All right.
We have people, one guy that was a higher producer, made $8,000 off of us last year. That's a lot of money. From a warranty company standpoint, that's a lot of money. So $8,000. You may not be producing that much, and that's okay. But just realize you're going to get paid for every warranty that you send in. Right? So it's kind of important that we let it be done at the selling side because that's the side that you have more of an advantage with. You can tell the seller things like, it says right on here, it gives you a competitive advantage. Well, it does. Think about it. If you have 2 houses, pretty much identical, one has hanging on the sign, warranty included, the other one doesn't. Which one are you going to send them to look at? I know what I do as an agent. It pretty much makes sense. If there's a warranty included, that's good. So your buyer's going to be more interested. these are things you talk to the seller about. Don't you want to make it more interesting, more attractive? Let's throw in a warranty in there. All right, so that's one thing that's really important. As you go down here, one of the things you're going to see is that thing that happens to every single agent. There's no agent that this hasn't happened to. You sit down with the seller and the buyer. The buyer says, hey, I noticed some older appliances, or I noticed your furnace was really old. We're going to have to knock the selling price down. It's not a conversation you want to have. I'm like, no. We don't, you're not going to say no, but you don't want to have that conversation, right? So we do this. We say to the buyer, Mr. Buyer, we're going to put a home warranty on that. So for a year, you're going to be covered with that old furnace. And if you want to, at the end of that year, the people from this warranty company will call you and allow you the opportunity to renew. So they can cover that old furnace as long as they want and never be without coverage. So if it breaks, it's going to be taken care of for them.
Then they have $2,500 and some odd dollars in their pocket.
That's right.
Because there is no parts available for it.
Exactly. Yeah, and at that stage, yeah, that's probably going to be the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, your clients may be a little put off by the fact that we won't give them something brand new for something 30 years old. I don't know anywhere in this country that you can get brand new for something that's really old. If you know of something, let me know, because I'm going to change in whatever it is. I want a brand new whatever. They get put off because they say, oh, I thought I was going to get it replaced. Well, if it's 30 years old, it's probably not going to get replaced, right? Because we can't give them a brand new one for a 30-year-old. But we're going to give them as much money as we possibly can. One thing about our company, I've worked with these guys for 3.5 years. They are the opposite of stingy. They are very generous. They want to make sure that your clients love you after the process is done. That's what I want. I want your clients to love you when we're done. Really, that's my job, is to take care of your client list, your referral list. I want to take care of those people so that they love you. Don't tell them anything about me. I don't care if they know me. Just say, well, Carla was working on it, and she went to bat for you, and she got you, $2,000 when you're only going to get $800 first. So that she looks good. That's all I care about, because then that client's going to be yours for life, and that's what we want. Okay, so we're on your team. It's not just a thing of selling warranties. It's about building a relationship with you. You'll see me around. You'll have me talking to you all the time. You know how to get a hold of me. Yes,
Where's your office?
My office is right outside that door, 4 rubber tires around it. Our main headquarters is in Jackson, Michigan. And I live in St. Clair Shores. That's mine. And if you don't go out and look at it, because it looks kind of messy right now, because it really is an office. There might be an old Arby's bag sitting up there. But anyway, I love what I do. I love traveling around. More than anything, I love building a relationship with you guys. That's my thing. I like to make you guys feel confident that I'm going to take care of you, that you can sell this warranty with confidence. I know Jeff. I know if I come to a problem, I can call him and reach him, and he'll fix it. Right? So that's what we do. You can ask anybody around here, people that have had claims denied and things like that have to come to me. When your claim's denied, by the way, please call me if you think it's a valid person, a valid client of yours that's making the complaint, that has the claim. If you think it's a valid reason for them having it, then call me. Because claims has a very limited box, right, that they have to operate in. I don't have that box. I go directly to my bosses and they tell me what they can give, and they're very generous, like I said before. So generally speaking, almost all the time I can get something. So that's another, I'm like the ace in the pocket, right? So if you need an ace, you can pull it out. But the great thing is, 93% of the time, according to recent approval, 93% of the time, you're not even going to know anything about it. They're going to get the claim taken care of, and it'll be done, and they'll be happy. So that's nice. You can go home today and say, 93% of the time, I can sell a warranty and never hear about it. That's what we want, right? Okay. Also, I wanted to mention, we have a very cool product. I always bring this out because I think it's hilarious. You're not going to be as excited as this woman is. It's called List Secure. I don't think anyone's going to get this excited, but kind of excited about it because what it does on the seller side, again, it's a tool to get you an edge with the seller. You tell them, hey, I can give you $1,000 of legal protection for 2 years after the closing if we do this warranty right now at the listing. I would think that's a pretty good inducement. Now, we don't want a buyer coming back and suing them, right? Nobody wants that. But how many of you know it does? It happens frequently, unfortunately. So we want them to have a risk management tool like Live Secure. Again, something that the only company that does it in this country is us. So it's of great value to you. It's something, I like being able to have a warranty company that I can tell people, we're the only ones that do it. Man, I love that. That makes this a no-brainer, right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
All right, last thing I'm going to tell you about, we have a new construction warranty, and we are very proud of this warranty. It's a 3-year warranty on a new construction home. With you being newer agents, you may not run into builders right off the bat, but there will come a time. And this warranty I have so much confidence in. So what it does is the builder's warranty and the manufacturer's warranty goes for a year. They always have to do the first year. Years 2, 3, and 4, our warranty covers. We cover 3 years for $550. So the basic price for the warranty is $425. The 3-year new construction warranty is $550. It's pretty good.
For
So-
1 year or for 3 years?
For 3 years. Yeah.
They would do a one-time $550.
One time $550 for 3 years. So what it's doing, basically, the builder has to give that first year warranty. So what it's doing, basically, is it's providing them with 4 years of warranty coverage. It's a pretty good deal. So if you want to, if you get the itch to go talk to builders and see what new construction is all about, I highly recommend you take a new construction warranty with you. And we've got a bunch of them here in the office. All right? Okay. Now, there's another subject here. I don't know what I did with it, but I have it. I have it right over my mouth. Oh, this is happening. John, how are you, bud? All right. So anyway, may have passed it around with my thing. I don't know. It's a data collection form. Anyway, what a data collection? Oh, here it is. Right here. Data collection form looks like this. What it is you have to fill out 6 brand names: Maytag, Whirlpool. We don't want serial numbers or anything like that. This is how you collect that $70 I was telling you about. It's RESPA compliant, so therefore we have to fill this out for RESPA. You know, if it was up to us, we wouldn't have you fill it out because it's another paper. How many of you like filling out paper? So we would, but RESPA insists on it, and really it does give us some valuable information. So when you sell the house, you have 60 days after closing to fill this out. Please make sure that you have this in the forefront of your mind. I have agents call so many times and say, hey, I didn't get my fee.
I don't have that.
They do have it in the office. I believe they also have this. Are you guys using .loop anymore, Phil, or did you move
It's
on?
gonna phase out.
Okay,
So,
it's still there now?
what was DocuSign?
DocuSign, okay. So in DocuSign, I'm sure they'll have the data collection form for you.
You have another one of those?
You can have those.
I appreciate that.
So just make sure you get that in because, listen, nobody wants to pay you more than me. I think that's one of the cool benefits of having this warranty sold is that I get to pay the agent something.
So first we need to get it sold.
First, you get it sold, right? Once you've got it sold, then you go ahead and fill out the data collection. And obviously, until the deal's complete at closing, you know, it's not going to matter. But once it's done at closing, get that data collection sheet in because we want to take good care of it. All right? All right, here's inspiration. Would you like some inspiration? It has nothing to do with the warranty. Everybody in?
Yeah.
I just asked, are agents required to disclose to their clients that we're receiving a $70 payment from?
No, you don't have to
We don't have to
disclose
disclose that?
That's your business. Yeah, it's not. Now, you can take that stuff and use it however you want. But that's totally your business. Any other questions? You'll probably have some along the way, I'm sure, but that's why you have my card. and I expect you to use the card. Here it is. Ready? The only thing worse than being blind is having sight with no vision. Think about that for a second.
Yep.
You guys, you're new, you're getting all this information, you're just going, wow, how am I going to do this? Your vision, what's going to happen in the first year or first couple of years, your vision is going to be to get the information in a place where you can repeat this stuff and get it down pat. You want it inside. You want to be able to flow when you sit down with somebody. So the information is going to become something of paramount importance that you study and you study again and you study again, because repetition is our best friend in this business, right? Repetition is how you learn. So you'll get this stuff down. That may be your vision for the first year. What's your vision beyond that? I would say, first of all, my first vision would be, like Carla's done, many successful agents have done, they pick these guys' brains. I'd be sitting in Phil's office. I'd be over with Doug. I'd talk to John. I'd talk to Sean. I'd go to the people that know the stuff and just pick their brains and say, okay, I'm going to a closing. This is my first closing. What am I supposed to do with this, this, and this? And then you get the right information, so when you go to closing, you look good. We all want that. Nobody wants to look like a doofus, right? Now, you can make mistakes, and that's okay. We're going to make mistakes. Everybody does. The first presentation I ever made was hilarious. I was so nervous. But it was really funny. And but they were very gracious. The people I talked to were very gracious, and they let me come in, and I was good. And I was happy with it. But I made mistakes. I left stuff out that was kind of crucial, and I did all sorts of things. And I've done things since then, I'd go back and say, wait a minute, I have to call them back. That's not right. So I call a person back and say, hey, that wasn't right. What's right is this, So we do. We all make mistakes. It's not going to end it for you. What you do is, always remember that you're serving that client. Be humble. Don't be afraid to admit a mistake, because you learn from it. As long as you learn from your mistakes, you're good. All right? You just have to learn from it. But your vision is very important, because you don't want to just sit out here and say, well, I'm learning to be an agent. I don't know what I'm going to do. Whatever the vision is, don't feel bad about it. Just make sure you have vision. All right? Does that good to everybody?
Yep.
All right. Oh, by the way, Helen Keller said that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for lunch.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
You guys call me.